Hello, this is a mini review on these COB chip-on-board rechargeable keychain lights I got from YouTube. I mean, sorry, not YouTube, Amazon. They were 18 bucks for three. And what these do is it's basically like a little floodlight or a little work light that can be used if you want to like change a tire or look in your engine bay or something like that. That was my original purpose for my e-bike. And how it works is you got a carabiner on top. So if you want to, put it on a keychain, it says keychain, but I don't know, it's a little big for a keychain, but I guess it's possible. If you hold down the button, you get turbo, which is 456 lumens, according to Flashaholics testing. And then you can turn it off. If you push the button once, you get high, or medium, really, which is 277 lumens, according to Flashaholic. And then click it again, and it steps down to low, which is 107 lumens. And it has a strobe function, and you can click it off. It also has a little stand, so you can stand it up in case you wanted to look at something, It has a magnet, and the magnet's pretty strong. Like, it'll hold its weight very easily. It's made of an aluminum body with two PVC pieces that are clipped together around the aluminum body. And it's charged by USB-C. There you go. It has a little charge light. It'll be red when it's charging and green when it's charged. And it's IPX4 waterproof, so it'll take rain, but you obviously aren't going to go diving with it. So what we're going to do is, this is a great light, but there's one serious flaw that it has that you'll see during the tests. So let's go on to the tests. Okay, here is the 456 lumen setting. It will step down to the low setting, which is 107 lumens. So here's a picture of it. Here is the medium setting, which is 277 lumens. It will step down to about 70 to 80 lumens, roughly. It's a little bit higher than the absolute low, but lower than the 107. This is the low setting. This is 107 lumens. This will step down to 55 lumens after the 2-minute step down. Okay, here's after 2 minutes on turbo, which is the highest setting. As you can see, it just goes down to the low, which is 107 lumens. Still very decent, you can still see in the bathroom, no problem. Let's go on to medium, what it goes down to. Okay, now here's 80 lumens, 70 to 80 lumens step down from the medium setting. As you can see, there's a lot of camera artifacts because it's probably using PWM modulation to dim it. But that you can't see it with your naked eye. But as you can see, it's a little bit less than the 107 lumen low. So we'll see right now what the low steps down to, which will be 55 lumens. Okay, here's on low mode. As you can see, there's a hell of a lot of crazy artifacting because the PWM modulation is turned down way low. What it does is basically turn on and off the light at such a high frequency that the human eye can't detect, but the camera will detect it. And that's how it lowers the lumens. But as you can see, even on low, it's still usable as like a night light. Now, I had a runtime on this low at about 9 hours and 15 minutes before I had to give up because I was like, this is taking way too long. And I put this light on the charger. This had a 530 milliamp battery in it, which is probably a 600, and the other ones had 430 each. So this is sort of like the best out of the lot of batteries. And so it was only about half done. So what, 18 hours, 19 hours at this level? I'm going to shut the door so you can see sort of what's going on here. As you can see, look, it's totally viable as if you wanted in a blackout to keep this on all night and still have some sort of light in the bathroom, so you know people can do what they want and still have some sort of light. Anyway, thanks, bye. Okay, we're gonna check the pass-through test. It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna use this, which is the 4000 milliamp battery with USB-C out from my heated gloves, and we're gonna run on turbo with it stepped down to 107 lumens after 2 minutes or whatever, and we're going to see if we can get a longer run time than 2 hours and 37 minutes, because it will charge while it's being run. So let's see if we can actually increase the run times with this. Okay, so we're going to go over here. I'm just going to pop it on this hanger here just so I can look at it at my workbench. So let's turn it on. Okay, there's your 456 lumens. Let's plug in the USB into here and plug the USB into here. We got a red light. So let's just hang it here and come back in maybe 3 or 4 hours, which will be, if it's gone that long and it's still at the higher brightness, then yeah, it works. See if I can hang it on here without it having to die. It's a little finicky. Anyway, that should work good enough. All right, we'll come back in, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, but that's more than enough to prove that it's actually running if the brightness is high. All right, see ya. Okay, I just noticed something interesting. Since it's been on the charger, you see how there's a green light here? Since it's green, it's no longer drawing from this battery pack anymore. Now, I had it fully charged when I started this test, so it may be possible that it's so charged, even if you put in a little bit, a tiny bit into it, it's going to cut the power because it goes, well, I don't need to charge anymore. Now, this little battery pack puts out 2 amps. Like, this is a serious battery pack. Look here, look. You can see it has all full charge on it. Now, if I unplug it and then plug it back in. So now that I plugged it back in, now it's starting to charge again. You can see that it's putting out power and the red light's going on. So I'm wondering if it might be worth it to discharge this a bit more, like run it down to half or something before doing this test. Or another option is I can pop it on the USB here. This is an old school USB. This is like a 1 amp max if you're lucky, on my desktop computer here. And this doesn't have a cutoff circuit. The other battery will cut off. Like this battery, once it doesn't detect that it's taking a load, it just shuts off. Whereas this will have just constant voltage, and the actual unit itself, the little COB flashlight, will just take whatever it can get. So I think I'm going to let this go down to about half and then pop it back on the little battery pack and see if I can do it again. But yeah, see, now it's saying it's red. And if we look at the battery pack again, see, it's taking a charge from it. But the thing is this pumps out so much power that it probably overpowers whatever little I can get out of this, which I estimate is only about 150 milliamps. So that's way, this will pump out way more than that. And I think what it's doing is it's overcoming the ability of this to take a charge. So this charges to full and it goes, oh, I'm full, and then it stops. and then this will automatically turn off instead of staying on in case this needs more juice. Then it'll just slowly suck the juice out of it. So I'm going to pop it on the actual the desktop computer, because that's just a straight voltage and straight current, so it won't cut off. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, so what I have here is I'm going to run it with my current counter. This is a USB current counter. You can see has the time and the milliamps and what it's drawing. It's 0.17 amp. And what I'm going to do, you can see it's charging. I'm going to have it run like this instead, because this is just dumb current. It's none of this smart stuff where it'll automatically shut off if the current's too low or anything like that. This is just straight current. And we'll see if this works. I'll come back in a few hours. Okay, we're at 2 hours and 47 minutes. We've gone 575 milliamp. This is only a 530 milliamp battery. And the light is as bright as if it was just turned on. In fact, I'd say it's actually a little brighter, probably because the voltage is kept up basically at top. So instead of 107 lumens, it might be like 120, just a little bit brighter. But there you go. The charge through pass-through charging does work. See, there's a red light with the caveat that once it starts bumping up against the battery and is just taking it, if you notice also, it kind of fluctuates between 200 milliamps and 230. So at 200 milliamps, it's probably drawing slightly from the battery, then it bumps up slightly to 230, then it'll go back down to 200, because 200 is probably the draw that it takes to operate this at low, which is 107, which is the step down lumens. But anyway, so there you go. It does work, with the caveat that as long as what you're plugging it into puts out power constantly, like a consistent power, and doesn't have a smart shut off or anything like that, you could basically keep this running indefinitely. Now, if you do have a smart shut off, what I would recommend is running the battery to almost zero or very low. As soon as you see it start dimming and you're like, oh, I want to bump it up a bit, you can plug it into a smart charger, which will charge it slowly because you're taking a draw off it, and still increase the run times, but it might shut off as soon as the battery gets full and the smart charger goes, oh, it's full, I better turn it off. Okay, there you go. Okay, we're just going to do another lighting test in something that would be around your house, which is probably this. It's going to be a stove or something. Just an update. As you can see, it's actually taking charge from the smart charger right now, because what I did is I actually discharged it about 50% or so. As soon as I could tell that it was starting to get a little dim, then I plugged it in here, and it's been going for about 3 hours now, just by charging probably slowly because there's a draw on it. So it'll take a while for this to charge this up. So that'll increase your run times a lot, because by the time this cuts off, this will be at full charge and you'll get another 2.5 hours. So even if you just left it and you didn't monitor it, you're going to get like hours and hours and hours at whatever brightness. The step down brightness is low, which is 107 lumens. So we're going to turn this off. Okay, now that's medium. You can take a look. Easily usable here. This is low. No, that's low. So that's what the step down highest level is going to be. So if you put it on turbo and you leave it after 2 minutes, this is the light level that's going to happen. And you can see it's nice, easily usable. Now let's put it on turbo. That's turbo. So that's like a normal light. It's very bright, easily usable. Now just for fun, since I got 3, I gave one away to my sister, but let's simulate two of them on at the low level, which will be the step down brightest level from high. So there's low on one. There's low on two. So now you have two there. So it's even brighter. So that's why they probably give you 3 for $18. Because if you have all 3 on low, it's the equivalent of having one of them on high. Now, if we do put both on turbo, let's do that for fun. See, that's really usable. Now, so why they have this crazy ass step down feature, it makes no sense. Considering I can run it for hours and hours with an external battery, and the internal battery would probably at turbo would probably last you at least an hour minimum. That's a lot more useful if you're trying to look at a car, like in a car hood or change a tire, than having it go 2 minutes at turbo and then going down to low. Like, that's your light level now. Like, why? Why not let me control it? Look, there's turbo. Why is it stepping down? This is more useful. Anyway, on to the next. Okay, this is what I got from charging it down from that 21.5 hour low setting all the way up. This is the best battery I got, which is 540 milliamps instead of a 500 rated battery. I have a feeling this is a 600. It either got put in by accident or they ran out of 500s and they had to put a 600 in there. But that's pretty damn decent. And it took 2 hours and 31 minutes for 540 milliamps. All right. Okay, well, we ran some tests. Did some charging tests, some luminosity tests. And what are my conclusions? Well, for $18 for 3, it's definitely a good deal, because even if one of these broke, since they're about $6 each, you could just chuck it and just go on to the next one if you ever needed them. I do like the carabiner. This is very handy. This theoretically could be on a keychain. Like, it's small enough that it's about the same as, new car fobs. It's extremely bright for its size. It's got, a decent amount of modes, including a strobe. And it's made of metal and with a little bit of plastic. It's got like a nice little stand, so you can stand it up if you're changing a tire. You can be working on the tire while this is turning on. It's got a magnet, so you can stick it on anything that's ferrous. And it even has a bottle opener, so if your car's totally dead, I guess you could get drunk by the side of the road. I don't know. Anyway, what don't I like about it? Well, the number one thing is the crazy ass step down. Why would they have that on this? Because I did a calculation, and this should run at least an hour on turbo. So it's a hell of a lot more useful on turbo than having turbo for 2 minutes and then stepping down to 100 lumens. And you're squinting in your engine bay trying to look around when you'd rather have an hour of good light. The medium light should get you at least an hour and a half to 2. So even if turbo, if it does step down, if it just stepped down to medium, and medium didn't step down at all, and low didn't step down at all, this would be 10 times more useful. As it is right now, I can't really recommend it for a car because of the silly step down feature. Now, I've even gamed this to see, is it because of heating? Is it overheating if I turboed it? So I turned this on turbo, and I waited till it would step down for 2 minutes, turn it off, then put it back to turbo, and it goes right back to turbo. So it's not heat. It's not thermally regulated. The thing was barely warm. So why is it stepping down? There seems to be no purpose other than to increase the run times. Now, so for an actual mechanic or a tradesman, this is not really worth it because of the step down feature. Because you don't want to be fooling around with different levels of light when you're trying to, be behind a server rack or working in an engine bay or doing soldering underneath, pipes or, because this would make an awesome little work light for places that are really hard to get into. This would be great. It's like a nice little compact thing. You can get in there, you can work an hour or two and, get things done. Plus, it has charge through pass-through charging on it. So if I stick a battery bank on this that's big enough, I could have this run indefinitely. So say you had a little phone charger, like a little mini one, you could just have it sit next to the light, have this on, and it would run for hours and hours at turbo 450 lumens, which is a very decent work light brightness. So for tradesmen, I can't really recommend this because of the stupid step down feature. Now for home use, that's a bit of a different story because you probably want longer run times. So you can put this in a bathroom. I got 21 hours and a half for, on the low setting, which was perfectly viable if you just wanted to run it all night so that there's a little light in the bathroom during a back blackout. Everybody can see in there. Or you use it for the kitchen. If you want to make a meal, you can put it on turbo. And even if it goes down to the low setting, you still have more than enough light to, make a meal or do something like that. Or just have it, as a light for a table if you're all playing cards, waiting until the blackout ends. And it gives you decent run times. So what I would say is for home, I still don't like the step down, but the longer run times are worth it. So I would give it an 8 out of 10 for the house because they're cheap and they got a magnet. You can stick them anywhere and a little stand and a carabiner if you had to hang it. I would give it an 8 out of 10 for the home because you don't need very bright light. You want longer run times because you're just sitting there, waiting until a blackout ends or using it for a little light or something like that. For tradesmen, I'll give it a 5 out of 10, which is sort of a pass because on turbo, if it steps down to low, if it's close enough to what you're working on, then it's still sort of usable. But if this didn't have step down, this would be a no-brainer 10 out of 10, easily. Because they're cheap. Hell, for $50, you're getting like 9 of them. You know what I mean? So if they break, you just throw them away. You can give them out. You can carry multiple of these on your person or, put it on a strap on your bag or whatever you want. It would be perfect if they weren't stepped down. Now, what I have found is the same company that makes this makes another newer model called the W5130 COB light. I'll put links and everything down in the comments so you can take a look, which I've already ordered. Now it'll probably take like 3 weeks to get here because it's coming from China. And I ordered them through Amazon, so if they're junk, I can just send them back and get my money back. So I paid a little more. But they have no step down. Plus they have concentric rings. There's a white concentric ring. There's a middle yellow concentric ring. And then there's 6 LED red in the middle. So it has no step down at all. And the turbo turns on the white and the yellow at the same time for 700 lumens. So it's even brighter than this. So when that comes in, we're going to test that out. This was just sort of a quick and dirty, review so we can compare it to the real ones that are coming in about 3 weeks. All right, thanks.